Hello, and thank you for joining me. It's Allan Laboucan with the Rocks and Stocks News Show. Yesterday, I did a report that I talked about some seasonal trends, and I'm just going to pull that up here. Some seasonal trends that I'm seeing right now, and how that is affecting the market. As you can see in the headline here, we have a seasonal trend in poor sentiment for mining stocks that has created tremendous bargains. The old market saying is to buy low and sell high. The first part is to buy low. It pays to be a contrarian. In the show, I discussed a great group of mining stocks trading at steep discounts. Those included Canadian Gold Corp, Puma Exploration, Dynasty Gold, Goliath Resources, Galantis Gold, BlackRock Silver, Aston Bay Holdings, and Sokoman Minerals. You can find this on my Substack at rocksandstocks.substack.com. And you can also find it on my YouTube channel, which is Rocks and Stocks News. And basically what I was getting into, and I don't want to go over it all again today, you can check it out on the introduction and closing of that show, was that the end of the summer, which we're in now, is a seasonal trend that's very similar to the tax loss selling season ending in late December, and the bargains that it creates, and that when you get into the new year, in the case of the tax loss selling season trend, or after Labor Day for the summer seasonal trend of weakness, you often see a significant increase in the price of a lot of juniors. The backdrop is that, we've seen pretty poor sentiment for mining stocks, and collectively this has created tremendous bargains. And I also mentioned that when I can see a lot of bargains is often a time when we see a significant rally. And I think that that's what's upcoming here in the not too distant future. And so I'm going to get into some of the stocks that make up my favorites and the companies that I'm bullish on. One of those is a company called Copper Road Resources. Not too long ago, they announced that they commenced their summer 2023 diamond drill program in Batchewana Bay, Ontario, and that they commenced the highly prospective JR zone at its Copper Road project drill program. Is designed to demonstrate that the JR zone hosts a small, shallow mineralized porphyry and a high-grade breccia in the center of the company's district-scale land package that hosts two past-producing copper mines. They often say in the business that a good place to look for a new mine is in the shadows of a head frame of an old mine, and that's the story here. And they have, I think it's 21,000 hectares of ground, so a very large land package. And the key targets that they're drilling are the Joe Grand Porphyry and the nearby Richards Breccia. They are located approximately 12 kilometers from the former Tribag mine zone, which the company drilled in 2022. Copper Road has previously completed mobile metal ion soil sampling and digitization of historical geophysical surveys at the GR zone, both the Jogran and Richards, and has determined the 1.5 kilometer by 800 meter area as prospective for the discovery of additional copper mineralization. Here you can see some of the zones that are known. But this map here is a much better representation. As you can see here in this pink dashed lines is the what they think is the underlying porphyry intrusion. And they have a breccia pipe here that is quite impressive as well, having hit high-grade copper in these three holes here. And it remains open below that near surface drilling. It's important to note that these breccia pipes can often be significant mines on their own because of the high-grade nature of them, and they have the Richards breccia and other breccias that look quite promising, and this porphyry that seems to be associated with the Richards breccia pipe. I'm very bullish on copper, especially copper exploration and development. And but what is much more difficult, there's lots of reasons to be bullish, such as, you know, all the demand that's coming from the electric vehicle revolution, the move to alternative energy sources, the need for the upgrading of power grids in the developed countries, and the building of power grids for the developing countries. And all of this will need a lot of copper, and there just isn't enough copper exploration going on. This is one company that I'm really optimistic about. They're very well located, close to infrastructure, in a tier 1 mining jurisdiction of Canada in Ontario. So they have a lot of the key boxes that you want to look for in a exploration of any kind. But for a copper story, there's not a lot of good copper exploration stories out there. Copper Road Resources is definitely one of them. They are a sponsor of my show, so I've been able to do interviews with their management and talk about them several times. And I'm really bullish on this drill program that they have going on to further understand the porphyry and also better understand their high-grade Richards breccia pipe. So take a look at Copper Road Resources. Athena Gold completed their spring 2023 drill program. This was to follow up on their 2022 RC drill program, where they hit some excellent grades, especially when you consider that this is oxide gold. A lot of oxide gold, open pit gold deposits are mining at 0.5 gram of gold. And as you can see here, they hit 33.5 meters of 5.15 grams per ton gold. Included in that was 16.7 meters of 10 grams per ton gold, and a 10.6 meter intercept of 15 grams. They had another hole that intercepted 6 grams over 27.5 meters at 39 meters of depth. Included in that was 30 grams per ton of silver over 10.7 meters. Deeper zone starting at 77 meters, intercepted pretty much 5 grams per ton gold over 13.7 meters. Then they had another hole that hit 4.49 grams of gold over 15.2 meters, starting at 41 meters of depth. Included in that was 7.29 grams of gold over 1.1 meters, with a deeper zone starting at 68 meters, grading 1.2 grams per ton gold over 7.6 meters. So this is a very high-grade oxide gold discovery in Nevada, and this makes it a very exciting project. It's in the Nevada's Walker Lane trend. Walker Lane trend is getting a lot of attention these days because of the big success that Anglo is having at their Silicon project, which looks like it could be over 10 million ounces of discovery, and a good portion of that is oxide gold. So there's lots of good things happening in the Walker Lane trend. In fact, later I'm going to talk about another company in that trend, but they've got a very interesting story. And now what they're doing is they drilled those 3 holes that they talk about here, and now they're expanding to the east and west of that zone that they've already hit, to see if they can get some added strike length to it. And I think they will. They have a very large alteration zone. When the gold-bearing fluids hit the surface and interact with the country rock, it alters that chemically. And you can see a very large alteration zone that's contained within two faults. So they have the plumbing system, they have the indications of a large system, they have very high grade for an oxide system, and I'm very bullish on this project. Athena Gold is also a sponsor of my shows. Been able to do some good interviews with them and their key management. And you can find that on my YouTube at Rocks and Stocks News, or on my Substack at rocksandstocks.substack.com. Fokus Mining is also a sponsor of my show, and they announced that they were resuming drilling on their newly discovered RB zone in Galloway, their Galloway project in Quebec. And what has me really excited about this project is that it is it's looking like they've got a pretty big system. Where is it? Let's get back to that news about the drilling. So they resumed drilling in June, and they recently wrapped that up, and now they're awaiting the assay results from that. They've got a resource already that looks to be getting a lot bigger. It's an NI 43-101 compliant inferred resource. Let me get to the Galloway project here, because I want to show you some stuff that project images, I believe. No, that's not the one. There's their core. There's some of the guys walking around, some drilling, some more core, and some good looking core. So here is the Hendrick mineralization. Here is the GP mineralization lower. They've also got mineralization that comes right near the surface. And as I said, it looks like a very large system that is wide open to keep looking for more gold at surface and also at depth. And it's really reminding me a lot of the early days of when I started following when I first started following Osisko. Back then, you know, they were just a tiny little company like Fokus, and then they had a lot of success, and that led to them building a mine and ultimately being taken over. And I like what I'm seeing so far at the start of this project. I think it can get a lot larger, and they have results pending from the drilling. So take a look at Fokus Mining. Delta Resources is not a sponsor. I did do a recent interview with their management, Andre Tessier, and what really caught my attention about this project is they've had some spectacularly high grade. And then they started a 20,000 meter drill program and added a second drill rig at their Delta 1 property in Thunder Bay, Ontario. I think it should be in here. Some of this just phenomenally high grade that they hit. Let me go back here and look at the news section, and we should see the highlight. Just read 20,000 meter program, $10 million bought deal financing. Here it is in May. They announced 1,636 grams of gold and 697 grams over 1 meter intervals, and they reported visible gold in 2 step-out holes. So they've got a very big system here that also has spectacularly high grades. The combination of those two have me paying a lot of attention to Delta Resources, and they've been doing this a lot of drilling, and they should start, I would think, within the next couple of weeks, of announcing the drilling from that 20,000 meter program that they started back in June. And good project, big program, lots of money, and in a very good area. And I think that they've got something quite spectacular here at their Delta One project, 50 kilometers outside of Thunder Bay, Ontario. So take a look at Delta Resources. Golden Lake Exploration is they're doing a bunch of geophysics right now and getting ready to drill. And what has me excited about this project is that they're to the south of I-80 Gold. And I-80 Gold has been finding a lot of high-grade gold in various different kinds of deposits. Mainly the best stuff is in their CRD discoveries. And Golden Lake has CRD deposits and discoveries in their drilling with similar kinds of grades as what I-80 Gold has found. And the network of faulting goes all the way from I-80 Gold all the way through to their project and right through the entire portion of it. And this gives them an excellent opportunity to make important discoveries. And the geophysics that they're doing will help them to target in where they should be drilling. And I believe that they're going to come up with excellent drill results. And the reason that I say that is the combination of they're very close to I-80 Gold. The structural corridor goes from I-80 Gold through their property. There has been past drilling that has found high-grade CRDs with an overprint of bonanza-grade gold. And they also have a property with significant amount of historical mining on it. And so it's wide open for discovery because that mining was done many decades ago. And really using pretty rudimentary mining methods and not a lot of modern exploration done on it. That's what they're doing now. They're in a great area in the South Eureka Gold Belt near Eureka, Nevada. And I'm very bullish on that project. Walker River Resources is in the Walker Lane Trend of Nevada. Their last important news release out was in June that they are doing a non-brokered private placement to get drilling underway again at their Laboucan gold project in the Walker Lane Trend. And what excites me about this project is that they have done a significant amount of drilling on this Laboucan Canyon area. And as you can see, there's some key structures going through here. And then there's large areas of alteration. And then probably about 600 meters from side to side and 800 meters from top to bottom of this mountain, they've found a lot of gold and a lot of high-grade gold. It really is a 2 million ounce plus type target to me. And I'm really excited to see them start up their drilling again. They're doing the financing, then they'll get drilling. And I think that they're going to do some great things this year when they get drilling into this. This is the area. This is the big canyon that goes through there, the Laboucan Canyon. And then you've got the secondary faulting that actually goes up both sides of this, or of the canyon. And most of their drilling has all been contained in this area here. And they really haven't figured out the system yet. It's such a big system. And that can be troublesome at times because you're looking at such a big system, you got to try to pinpoint where you want to vector in. But I think they've learned a lot over the last few years of drilling this project, and I'm looking forward to their next drill program because You just don't find a lot of these multi-million ounce gold targets anywhere in the world, and they're getting harder to find in Nevada. And that's what Walker River Resources has at their Lapon Canyon project. Okay, by the way, they are a sponsor as well. We've done a bunch of interviews with their Michelle David, their CEO, and stay tuned for more news out of that company. And finally, I'm going to talk about a company that's not a sponsor, which is North Peak. And North Peak advances their Prospect Mountain acquisition formalities. They issued 5 million shares to the vending group and welcomed one of their key people to the board of directors. This is another project that's in that Eureka area around I-80 Gold. And it has seen a lot of historical mining of CRD deposits. And I-80 Gold has found very high-grade CRDs not very far from them, and in the same kind of rock packages, in the same kind of structural corridor. And I'm really excited about the work that they're doing to get ready to drill. I would suspect that this is something that they would probably get ready to drill in the next couple of months. And I'm very bullish on this project based on the significant amount of historical mining that's been done, and that historical mining was done many years ago, and there hasn't been a lot of exploration drilling on this project. And being where they are in close proximity to I-80 Gold, the quality of the project, the geology, the structural story, the historical mining puts them in a very good position to make discoveries of CRDs on their property. And there's another junior that I'm really bullish on, and I love this area around I-80 Gold's Eureka discovery at their Ruby Hill project. Alrighty, so that's another batch of companies. I've got another dozen to talk about, and I wanted to break it up over 3 or 4 shows, so they don't get too long, or I could have done a 2-hour show yesterday. So I've been talking about a lot of projects. Some of them are sponsors, some of them are not. All of the companies that I follow, whether they're sponsors or not, really have to go through the same filtering that I do for all companies. And basically, I'm looking for, key geological characteristics that make me believe that they have important discoveries or can make important discoveries. And generally that the market is not appreciating the quality of those. So whether they're sponsors or not, I am biased, whether they're paying to be sponsors and help me to fund the work that I do to provide all these reports and interviews that I do. And I'm also biased by the fact that I want to be right. I've been answering some questions about bias rate lately, and it doesn't really matter whether if somebody has formed an opinion on something, they're biased. They're biased by the fact that they want to be right, and they're obviously not forming an opinion unless they think that they're right. And I'm no different, and that's why you need to do your own homework. I'm just providing my thoughts on why I think highly of these projects. It's important for you to speak with your financial advisors and do your homework. I mean, to be part of the homework by doing the interviews that I do with management and the commentary that I do on these companies when they have news out. But ultimately, you should continue that homework by going to the company's websites, checking out their news releases, checking out their corporate presentations, and that will help you form your own opinion. And, that's what these shows are all about. On that note, have a great day, and we will talk to you soon.